Wow, that's such a cool idea to build. Why didn't I figure it out myself? Let's learn how to build Coca-Cola.
Round 1.
Okay, so today I am going to build a Coca-Cola can, and it is going to be lying on its side because I think that looks way cooler than just a can standing up straight. If a can is just standing there, it is kind of boring, right? But when it is on its side, it looks like someone knocked it over, and that makes it way more interesting to look at. So the first thing I need to do is start with the letters on the side of the can. I am using white wool for the word Coke, because when you have a red background, white letters are the easiest to see. That is just how colors work. Light stuff shows up better on dark stuff. So I am placing each letter one by one. C, then O, then K, then E. When you build letters in Minecraft, you have to think about the spacing between them. If you put them too close together, everything gets smushed, and you cannot even tell what it says. On real cans, the letters always have some breathing room, so I am doing the same thing here. Now I need to fill in all the empty space around the letters with red wool. Red wool is the perfect match because that is literally the color of a real Coca-Cola can. I am going block by block, filling every gap until this whole side is covered in red with the white Coke logo showing through. Now I gotta do the exact same thing on the other side of the can. This part matters a lot because if you look at a real Coca-Cola can, it has the same design on both sides, right? That is called symmetry, which basically means both sides need to look like a mirror of each other. So I am grabbing white wool again and spelling out Coke on this side too. The tricky part is making sure the letters land in the exact same position as the other side. If one side has the word sitting higher and the other side has it sitting lower, then the whole build is going to look crooked and weird. So what I do is count the blocks from the edge to figure out where each letter should start. Honestly, that is a pretty handy trick for building anything that needs to match on two sides. Just count the blocks and you are good. Alright, so I got all the letters placed and now I am filling in the red wool around them again. The good news is, this goes a bit quicker the second time around because I already figured out the pattern on the first side. I just have to watch out and not cover up any white letters with red wool by accident, because that means breaking blocks and doing it all over again. Now I need to finish up the rest of the can, which is basically all the sides that do not have the Coke logo on them. I am using red wool for everything here because the whole body of a Coca-Cola can is red. This is not the most exciting part, honestly. I am just placing red blocks all over the place, but it needs to be done, so the shape looks solid. If there were gaps anywhere, it would look like the can has holes in it, and that would be silly. A real soda can is a cylinder, so it is round, but in Minecraft you cannot really make perfect circles because everything is made of square. Now I need to finish up the rest of the can, which is basically all the sides that do not have the Coke logo on them. I am using red wool for everything here because the whole body of a Coca-Cola can is red. This is not the most exciting part, honestly. I am just placing red blocks all over the place, but it needs to be done, so the shape looks solid. If there were gaps anywhere, it would look like the can has holes in it, and that would be silly. A real soda can is a cylinder, so it is round, but in Minecraft, you cannot really make perfect circles because everything is made of squares. So I just try to curve the edges a little bit, and it kind of works out. Now for the front of the can, I am switching to iron blocks to build a circle shape. The top of a real soda can is made of aluminum, which is a shiny silver metal. Iron blocks have that same metallic look, so they are perfect for this. I am also building a small pull tab on the circle. That is the little piece you grab to open the can. And now I am using black wool to make it look like cola is pouring out of the opening. The can is on its side, so the liquid would naturally flow right out because of gravity. Black W now! For the front of the can, I am switching to iron blocks to build a circle shape. The top of a real soda can is made of aluminum, which is a shiny silver metal. Iron blocks have that same metallic look, so they are perfect for this. I am also building a small pull tab on the circle. That is the little piece you grab to open the can. And now I am using black wool to make it look like cola is pouring out of the opening. The can is on its side, so the liquid would naturally flow right out because of gravity. Black wool gives that dark soda color, and it looks pretty convincing if you ask me. Phew, it took so much effort. Great, my Coca-Cola is ready.
Hello?
Hey, Banana Kid, look, I built it. Do you like?
No.
What? Didn't you appreciate the color of the Coke pouring out of the can?
Oh.
It's a pity, but I tried so hard. Maybe then you'll try to build a better Coca-Cola yourself.
Yay!
They ran to the place. This is where your building will be. Are you ready?
Yahoo!
Then go ahead.
Round 2.
Okay, so it looks like he is going to start with the front face of the can. That makes sense because on a real soda can, the top and bottom are made of aluminum. Okay, so it looks like he is going to start with the front face of the can. That makes sense because on a real soda can, the top and bottom are made of aluminum, which has that silvery gray metallic color. Light gray concrete is probably the closest block in Minecraft to that real aluminum look. It is smooth, it has no patterns or textures on it, just a flat, clean surface. That is exactly what you want when you are trying to represent metal in a block game. Banana Kid is placing blocks in a big circular shape now, forming the round front face of the can. He is building it piece by piece, stepping blocks in and out to create that curved edge. In Minecraft, making circles is tricky because everything is made of cubes, so you have to use a staircase pattern to fake the roundness. The circle he is making is pretty large, which is good because the bigger your circle is in Minecraft, the smoother it looks. If you try to make a tiny circle with only a few blocks, it just looks like a diamond or a weird square. But when you use lots of blocks, those little staircase steps become so small, the circle he is making is pretty large, which is good because the bigger your circle is in Minecraft, the smoother it looks. If you try to make a tiny circle with only a few blocks, it just looks like a diamond or a weird square. But when you use lots of blocks, those little staircase steps become so small that your eye blends them together and sees a smooth curve. That is actually the same idea behind how computer screens work. Your screen is made of tiny square pixels, but because there are so many of them, everything looks smooth. Banana Kid seems to understand this, even though he is not saying anything about it. He is leaving the circle partially open for now, not filling in the center yet. I think he has a plan for that. He will probably come back and complete it later. Also, I notice he is building this can on its side, not standing upright, and he is placing it up off the ground, elevated in the air. Why would he build it floating like that instead of sitting on the ground? Well, I think the idea is to make it look like the can is tipping over, like someone knocked it on its side and cola is about to pour out. That is a really common way to show soda cans in advertisements and commercials. You see the can at an angle with liquid splashing out of it. It makes the image more dynamic and exciting than just a can sitting still on a table. So by building it in the air and on its side, Banana Kid is going for that dramatic advertisement look. Not a bad idea at all. The light gray concrete is stacking up nicely, and the front of the can is starting to take shape. I can already see the circular outline forming. It is going to be a big can when it is done. Now, Banana Kid is flying around to the back of the can. He is switching from light gray concrete to red concrete. This is where the main body color begins. Coca Cola cans are famous for their bright red color. It is one of the most recognizable colors in the entire world of branding. When you see that specific shade of red, your brain immediately thinks of Coca Cola even before you read the name. Red concrete in Minecraft is a really vibrant, bold red, so it works perfectly for this. He is placing the red concrete in a big curved wall shape, building up the back portion of the cylinder. The back of the can would be fully red because the label wraps around the sides, but there might be less detail on the very back compared to the front-facing sides. Banana Kid is working quickly, stacking rows of red blocks and curving them to match the cylindrical shape he started with the gray circle. Now he is flying back to the front again. It looks like he is ready to finish that circle he started earlier. He is picking up light gray concrete again and filling in the remaining gaps in that big front circle. Block by block, the holes are disappearing and the circle is becoming a solid disc of light gray concrete. This represents the sealed aluminum top of the can. On a real can, the top is a flat piece of aluminum that is crimped and sealed onto the cylinder body during manufacturing. It is always that bare metal color, never painted red like the sides. So having this solid gray circle at the front is accurate to how a real can looks. Banana Kid is almost done filling it in. Just a few more blocks and the entire front face will be complete. There, it is done. A perfect solid circle of light gray concrete. That looks really clean. Oh, now he is adding something on top of the circle. It looks like he is building the pull tab. Yes, that is definitely the pull tab. The little lever you grab with your finger to crack open the can. He is making it out of light gray concrete, which is correct, because on a real can, the pull tab is also made of aluminum. It is riveted right onto the top of the can. Banana Kid is shaping it carefully. In Minecraft, a pull tab at this scale is just a few blocks arranged in a small elongated shape, kind of like a tiny paddle or lever sticking up from the surface. He is getting the proportions right, making it small enough relative to the big circle so it looks realistic. The tab has a little loop on one end where your finger goes, and Banana Kid is trying to suggest that shape with just a handful of blocks. It is not easy to make small details like this in Minecraft, but he is doing an okay job. Now he is making a small opening right next to the pull tab. This is the drink hole, the crescent-shaped opening that appears when you push the tab down and the metal tears along the scored line. On a real can, this opening is where the soda comes out when you drink from it. Banana Kid is carving out a few blocks to create this hole, and now he is filling it with black concrete. Black concrete inside the opening is a clever detail. It creates the illusion of depth, like you are looking down into the dark interior of the can where the liquid is. If he just left it as an empty hole, you would see whatever is behind the build, sky, or landscape, and that would break the illusion completely. By plugging it with black concrete, it looks like a dark void inside the can. On a real can, when you look into the drink hole, it is dark inside because the liquid absorbs light. So black concrete perfectly replicates that visual effect. Banana Kid is now moving to the left side of the can. He has white concrete in his hand. I think he is about to write the logo. Yes, he is building letters. Letter by letter, block by block, he is spelling out Coca Cola in white concrete against the open framework of the can side. The real Coca Cola logo uses a very specific white cursive script that has been almost the same since the 1880s. It is one of the oldest and most famous logos in the world. Obviously, in Minecraft, you cannot do fancy cursive handwriting because everything is made of blocks, so Banana Kid is making pixel-style blocky letters. Think of it like pixel art on a grid. Each letter is made up of several blocks arranged to suggest the shape of the character. He is doing the C first, then the O, then another C, then A, then capital C again, then O, L, and A. The letters are quite large because the can itself is big, so each individual letter takes up many blocks in height and width. This is actually helpful because bigger pixel letters are easier to read and look better than tiny ones. When you make pixel letters too small, like only 3 or 4 blocks tall, they become really hard to recognize. But at this size, maybe 8 or 10 blocks tall, each letter has enough resolution to be clearly readable. Banana Kid is paying close attention to the spacing between letters too. In typography, the spacing between letters is called kerning, and it matters a lot for readability. If letters are too close together, they blur into each other. And if they are too far apart, the word falls apart visually. Banana Kid seems to have a decent eye for this. The letters are evenly spaced, and the whole word reads clearly as Coca-Cola even from a distance. White concrete against what will eventually be a red background is a high contrast combination. White on red is extremely easy to read, which is exactly why Coca-Cola chose those colors for their branding. Now Banana Kid is going back through the letters and filling in every gap between them with red concrete. This step is super important, and I want to explain why. When you build letters on an open frame in Minecraft, the spaces inside and between the letters are just empty air. You can see right through them to the sky or whatever is behind the build. That completely ruins the effect, because instead of looking like white text painted on a red can, it looks like a floating skeleton of white blocks with holes everywhere. By carefully filling every single gap with red concrete, Banana Kid is creating a solid red wall surface with white letters sitting on top of it. Now it looks like the letters are actually painted onto the can surface, not floating in space. This is the same technique that pixel artists use in Minecraft all the time. You always need a background color behind your pixel art, otherwise the image does not read correctly. Banana Kid is being very thorough about this, checking every letter, finding every little pocket of air between the curves of the letters, and plugging them all with red blocks. Some letters have enclosed spaces inside them, like the inside of the letter O, or the inside of the letter A. Those spaces need to be filled with red too, because on a reel can those areas would show the red background of the can surface. It is tedious work, going block by block, but the difference it makes is night and day. Before filling, it looked messy and incomplete. After filling, it looks professional and clean. Banana Kid is almost done with the left side now. Every gap is red, every letter is white, and the side of the can looks fantastic. Now Banana Kid is moving to the top of the can, and he has red concrete ready. He is starting to build up the upper portion of the can body, filling in the entire area above the logo with red concrete. As he places each row, he is carefully stepping the blocks to create a curved surface. This is the part where the flat sides of the can start to curve inward toward the top rim. On a real cylindrical can, the sides are straight in the middle, but near the top and bottom, they taper slightly inward to meet the smaller diameter top and bottom lids. Banana Kid is replicating this by gradually reducing the width of each row as he builds upward. Every few rows, he pulls the outermost blocks in by one, creating a gentle slope that suggests curvature. The bigger the build, the more gradual you can make these transitions, and since this can is quite large, the tapering looks smooth and natural. He has finished the top section, and now he is flying down to work on the bottom. Same process, red concrete, same curving technique, same gradual stepping of blocks. The bottom of the can mirrors the top, tapering inward to meet the base. On a real can, the bottom is actually slightly concave. It curves inward, which helps the can withstand the internal pressure from the carbonation. Banana Kid is not going into that level of detail. He is just rounding the bottom edge to make it look cylindrical, but it is still impressive. As he fills in more and more red concrete, the can is really starting to look three-dimensional. You can see the cylinder shape emerging from what was just a collection of flat walls and circles. The red color wraps around the surface continuously, giving it that iconic Coca Cola look. There are still two open sections remaining, one on the right side and one at the back. He is going to get to those soon. But for now, the overall shape is about 90% done, and it looks great. Banana Kid is now flying over to the right side of the can. He has white concrete in his hand again. Just like he did on the left side, he is going to write Coca Cola here too. On a real can, the logo appears on both sides so that no matter which direction the can is facing, you can read the brand name. That is a basic principle of product packaging design. You want maximum visibility of your brand from every angle. Banana Kid is placing the letters in the same size and at the same height as the ones on the left side. Symmetry is really important here. If the letters on one side were higher or bigger than the other side, it would look wrong and unbalanced. He is working through each letter carefully, matching the pixel patterns he used on the other side. C-O-C-A-C-O-L-A. Each letter getting the same treatment, same width, same height, same spacing. And just like before, once all the letters are placed, he is going back and filling every gap between and inside the letters with red concrete. Same technique, same patience, same thoroughness. The right side needs to be a mirror image of the left side for the build to look authentic. Banana Kid is plugging all the holes methodically, working from one end of the word to the other. Red block here, red block there, checking every angle to make sure nothing is missed. When he finishes, the right side looks identical to the left side, which is exactly what you want. Both sides of the can now proudly display the Coca Cola name in crisp white letters on a solid red background. The symmetry is spot on, and the build is looking more and more like a real product every minute. Now Banana Kid is adding white concrete stripes above and below the Coca Cola text on both the left and right sides of the can. These horizontal white bands are a really important design detail. On a real Coca Cola can, there is a distinctive white ribbon or wave that flows around the can, curving gracefully above and below the logo text. This design element is called the dynamic ribbon device, and Coca Cola has used it in their branding for decades. It adds movement and energy to the design, and it helps frame the logo text, making it stand out even more against the red background. In Minecraft, Banana Kid cannot really make a flowing curved ribbon, but he can place straight lines of white concrete that suggest the same idea. He is placing a stripe of white blocks running horizontally above the letters on the left side, then doing the same on the right side, making sure both stripes are at exactly the same height. Then he flies down and places another stripe below the letters on the left and matches it on the right. These white lines break up the large red surface area and add visual interest to what would otherwise be just a big flat red wall with text. In design, this is called creating visual hierarchy and rhythm. The white stripes guide your eye around the can and frame the most important element, which is the brand name. Without these stripes, the design would feel flat and unfinished. With them, it suddenly looks polished and professional. Banana Kid is making sure the stripes are consistent in thickness and position on both sides. That attention to symmetry and detail is paying off because the can is looking really authentic now. Banana Kid is flying around to the back of the can now. He has light gray concrete in his hand, and he is filling in the entire back surface with it. The back of the can is going to be all gray, representing the bare aluminum of the can body. On a real can, the back often has nutritional information, ingredients lists, and recycling symbols printed in small text on the metal surface. But at Minecraft scale, those tiny details would be impossible to recreate, so plain light gray concrete is the way to go. It gives the visual impression of the unpainted aluminum that you see on the back of most beverage cans. This also creates a nice visual contrast as you walk around the build. From the sides, you see vibrant red with white lettering, but when you move to the back, you see clean silvery gray. That transition helps sell the idea that this is a three-dimensional round object with different surfaces. The gray concrete at the back also connects visually with the gray concrete on the front face, the top lid of the can. So you have gray on both ends and red with white on the sides, just like a real can. Banana Kid is filling in the back quickly, stacking columns of light gray concrete from top to bottom, making sure there are no gaps or missing blocks. When he finishes, the back is a solid, smooth wall of gray. The can body itself is now completely enclosed. No holes, no missing sections, no sky peeking through anywhere. It is a fully sealed cylinder with proper colors on every face. The front is gray with a pull tab and drink hole. The sides are red with white Coca Cola lettering and white stripes, and the back is gray. That is a complete, accurate Coca Cola can. Very solid work from Banana Kid so far. Now, Banana Kid is starting a new element of the build. He is placing glass blocks on the ground in front of the can. It looks like he is building a drinking glass or a cup. He is creating a square outline on the ground using glass blocks, then building the walls up vertically. Glass blocks in Minecraft are semi-transparent. They let light through, and you can partially see through them, which makes them the perfect material for building a drinking glass. A real glass cup is transparent. You can see the liquid inside it, and glass blocks capture that quality better than any other block in the game. He is building the walls up about 8 or 9 blocks tall, which makes it a short, wide glass compared to the tall can beside it. That is proportionally correct. A drinking glass is usually shorter and wider than a soda can. He is making sure every single side is completely covered with glass blocks, no gaps, no openings except the top, which stays open like the rim of a real glass. He is also building a solid floor at the bottom of the glass using glass blocks. A real glass has a solid bottom so liquid does not leak out, and Banana Kid is replicating that. The glass is simple in shape, basically a square box made of transparent blocks, but in Minecraft, that is exactly how you build a glass cup. The transparency is the key feature here. When Banana Kid adds liquid inside later, you will be able to see it through the glass walls, just like looking at a real glass of cola sitting on a table. The glass catches light in Minecraft too, creating little reflections and bright spots that make it look shiny and clean. It is a small build compared to the can, but it is an important part of the overall scene. Banana Kid is now filling the lower portion of the glass with black wool. Black wool is his choice for representing Coca Cola liquid, and it is a smart pick. Real Coca Cola is an extremely dark brown color, so dark that it appears almost black in most lighting conditions. When you pour cola into a glass, it looks like a dark, opaque liquid, especially when the glass is full and you are looking through a thick volume of it. Black wool captures that darkness perfectly. Wool also has a slightly softer, less shiny texture compared to concrete, which is a subtle but nice detail. Liquid does not have hard, sharp edges or a glossy surface when viewed at this scale, so the matte, fuzzy look of wool actually works better than smooth concrete would for representing a drink. But Banana Kid is not just filling the glass. He is also building a stream of black wool going from the opening of the can down through the air and into the top of the glass. This stream represents cola being poured from the tipped can into the glass below. That is a really creative detail that adds so much to the build. Without the pouring stream, you would just have a can lying on its side next to a glass of dark liquid, and you would have to guess what the connection is. But with the stream of wool connecting the two, the story is immediately clear. The can is pouring cola into the glass. It creates a sense of action and movement in what is otherwise a completely static build. It is like a freeze-frame photograph of a pour in progress. The black wool stream starts at the drink hole on the can, the one outlined in black concrete, and curves down through the air into the glass. Banana Kid is shaping it to look somewhat natural, like a liquid arc falling under gravity. Inside the glass, Banana Kid is placing more black wool against the inner walls. He is lining every interior surface with wool blocks so that when you look through the glass from outside, all you see is dark cola filling the entire interior. This creates the convincing illusion that the glass is completely full of soda. If he only put wool on the bottom and left the upper interior empty, you would be able to see through the upper part of the glass walls to the empty air inside, and it would look like the glass was only half full. By covering the inside walls all the way up to near the rim, it looks brimming with cola. The contrast between the transparent glass walls and the dark black wool inside is really effective. You get that recognizable look of a cold glass of cola, dark liquid visible through clear glass. Combined with the pouring stream from the can above, the whole scene tells a complete story. Banana Kid has built a Coca Cola can on its side, actively pouring cola into a glass below it. I have to say, for a guy who only communicates in sounds, Banana Kid really did an impressive job on this one. The colors are right, the proportions are good, the design details are there, and the pouring effect is creative. Nice work, Banana Kid!
Ta-da! Yay!
Where did everyone run off to? Hey guys, what's that noise you're making?
Banana Kid and I are building Coca-Cola, JJ. Who did it better?
Oh, both of your buildings look great, but I think it's up to the audience to decide who did the best.
Yes, JJ, you're right. Maybe then you have comments on the construction of Banana Kid?
Yes, there are a couple of comments. Is your can of Coca-Cola hanging in the air by magic or something? It looks so weird.
I totally agree with you, JJ. Maybe you will build Coca-Cola?
Okay.
JJ, good luck to you. We'll wait in the house.
But?
Thanks, guys. Then I'm starting. Round 3. So, it is my turn now. I am going to do something a little different today. Instead of building block by block, I am going to use a command to place a pre-built Coca-Cola can on my building area. And here it is. This thing is absolutely massive. It is enormous, way bigger than anything Banana Kid or Mikey built today. The level of detail on this model is incredible. Every curve is smooth, the logo is crisp, the colors are perfect. Let me fly around it so everyone can see the full scale. The red is vibrant, the white lettering is sharp, and the aluminum top and bottom have that perfect metallic gray look. When you build at this scale, you can achieve curves that are almost perfectly round because you have thousands of blocks creating tiny little steps that your eye blends together into smooth lines. Thank you guys. I am very glad that you liked my building. Friends, be sure to write in the comments whose building you liked the most. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.